Welcome to the House of Hammer, built by the nation for the nation. Welcome to Raider Nation News today. I am your host and your resident tribal chief.
Acknowledge me.
Hope everybody's having a great Sunday wherever you guys are at. Before we go any further, most of y'all know the routine. Those new in here, I'm going to teach you real quick. Smash some thumbs, hammer that sub, crush the bell to stay up to date with all your Raiders news, rumors, updates, live streams, and reactions. Salute to Raider Nation Drew. Salute to Dominique 5. Salute to David Zahn, one of our mods in the building. Martin is in here. Green Dot Gang, I already see. Paper Chase Mace was good. Jeffrey Gaines, Ricky Two Toes, Leaky, Aloha My Oos, Shed Owen, and Yo Raider. What is good, everybody? And I see more and more people coming in. Hammer was good. I just really said it myself. L11, salute my guy. All right, let's get the rundown up. We're going to go through a recap of yesterday's games, divisional weekend. We are done with part one of divisional weekend. We saw the Texans and the Chiefs go at it yesterday, and then the nightcap, which was a game that I knew was going to be high scoring. I did not expect it to go the way it ultimately did in Detroit, between Detroit and the Commanders. And we have a lot of other news to talk about, news that broke this morning, but something I kind of want to give myself a pat on the back about as well. So let's get into it. Let's get the screen up. There we go. There it is. All right. So here we go. Final score yesterday, 23 Chiefs, 14 Texans. The game was incredibly close going into the second half. A lot of missed opportunities for Houston. Their kicker Fairbairn missed 3 field goals. One was actually to tie the game after a touchdown from, I believe it was Joe Mixon, if I remember correctly. Just costly mistakes over and over and over again, and the pressure from Kansas City's defense was absolutely insane. Greg Karlaftis with 3 sacks. CJ Stroud was sacked a total of 8 times during the game yesterday and did take one bad hit. He came off the field limping at one point late in the game. Ultimately came back for the very last play to take a knee as time was about to expire. It is what it is. Kansas City does move on to their seventh straight AFC Championship game. They're waiting for the winner between Baltimore and Buffalo, which is scheduled to happen. I believe kickoff is 6:30 this afternoon, if I remember correctly. Moving on. Let's get this other one up. Sorry, guys. Again, this was an incredibly great matchup. They've really stuck to this name, the Cardiac Commanders. Washington has now won 7 straight games. They advance to the NFC Championship after defeating the Detroit Lions last night, 45-31. Jaden Daniels. We should have Jaden Daniels, man. 22-31, 299 yards, 2 touchdown passes, and he ran for 51 yards. Brian Robinson Jr., 18 carries, 77 yards, 2 touchdowns, and Scary Terry McLaurin, 4 receptions, 87 yards, 1 touchdown. Jared Goff for the Lions, 23 of 40, 313 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. Jahmyr Gibbs, Sonic, 14 carries, 150 yards, 1 touchdown, and 70 receiving yards. He was all over the place at the beginning stages of that game last night. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 8 receptions, 137 yards. Salute to our former defensive back, Amik Robertson. He suffered a broken arm last night during the game. Detroit's defense has been battling injuries throughout the entire year. We kind of knew that if they had the opportunity to make it to the Super Bowl, you might see their star edge rusher, Aiden Hutchinson, return after the broken leg that he had earlier this year. Amik Robinson, thoughts and prayers with you, man. Speedy recovery. It was definitely a tough situation and a tough way for that injury to happen to you. So speedy recovery, our guy. Once a Raider, always a Raider. Moving on, I take this off the screen real quick. So we were live the other night. We were live for Graf's birthday, and salute to him. I hope he's living it up, pretty much doing a birthday week, which a lot of us do these days. We did some mock drafts, but we were also talking about the search for the next Raiders GM. So I'm going to play a clip. I need a thumbs up as quickly as possible once I put this up so I know you guys hear the audio. If not, I'm going to have to do it another way. But I'm going to play this clip from Wednesday night show with Graf, Big Mike, and Wasted. And then we're going to talk further more about this. So give me 1 second. Let's do this again. And here we go.
And you know what I'm saying, with Spy Tech. The guy went to Michigan with him. I mean, the connection is real. Spy Tech brought him over from Tampa Bay. It was a pivotal piece to bring him over once he left New England to go over there and win that Super Bowl with Tampa Bay. I just, come on, man. I think the writing is on the wall. You know, if we go a different direction, I'd be fucking shocked. I'd be shocked. You want it? Damn. Elaborate. What you
think from the standpoint of the way that we're doing this right now, which again, Wasted and I have both talked about this on our lives separately in terms of how this should be done and where it should start with the GM. You guys are going after the head coach first again. Okay, cool. So you want a GM or somebody he already has a previous relationship with. You want to have that marriage, and that's why they're going this route again and starting with the head coach. Tom Brady and Ben Johnson are going to have that discussion and figure out exactly who this GM is going to be and if this guy is in fact going to fit their vision collectively and take it from there. That's why I still feel that there's a name, maybe two out there right now that we have not heard, that it might be something that just takes everybody by surprise.
Okay.
So you guys were there. Most of you guys were there the other night. And I know a lot of you guys watched throughout the entire show. But earlier in that show, I said that there was a dark horse. I've actually had this name for over a week. And yes, we're talking about it. This is what we're here for today. We're going to talk about it right now. We're going to talk about Lance Newmark. He is the assistant GM for the Washington Commanders. I'm going to pull up the bio for you guys as well. But this was something that I had to keep on the inside for a while. Adam Schefter reported the news earlier this morning that the Raiders are set to interview Commanders assistant GM Lance Newmark. So let's get into his bio real quickly, and we're going to discuss some things, and I definitely want to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. We will open up the vault line at some point during this live. I think we're only going to do an hour. I'm not doing any of the playoff games. Much rather just try to relax right now. Let's go back to this again.
And you know what I'm saying, with Spy Tech. The guy went to Michigan with him. I mean, the connection.
You're done. No, I'm joking. All right. So Lance Newmark, again, he is currently the Commanders assistant GM. He's been in the league. This is actually his 29th year in the NFL. He served as a staff assistant his first 2 years with the San Diego Chargers, then 26 seasons with the Detroit Lions as a senior director of player personnel. This is his first season as the assistant GM, as he is with Washington. This was a guy that we had talked about. Well, actually, no. Nobody has talked about this guy. This was a name that I've had. This is a guy that I said, and you guys see it in the thumbnail, like, this is the dark horse. And I didn't want to put a name out there until somebody else with the information was able to put it out, and then I was able to talk about it. So you heard me say that it has to be a relationship for Ben Johnson that makes sense. Again, the GM head coaching relationship pretty much is the equivalent to a marriage. He wants one of his guys. Ultimately, this job as it stands right now is Ben Johnson's job, unless he decides not to put ink to paper. That's it. So at this point in time, yes, a guy that he is familiar with, a guy that he's had a relationship with years in Lance Newmark is now coming into the building for an interview. Ultimately, Detroit is now out. We have the necessary arrangements now where we can physically meet with Ben Johnson in person. Lance Newmark can go into the facilities in Vegas and meet with Mark Davis and Tom Brady. And we start to figure things out from here. This is going to be what starts. This is going to be how the things are going to start in this new direction that the Raiders are going. And we've said it time and time again that it's going to start with the hiring of the GM and the head coach. Would this relationship work? I do believe it will. Then it's a matter of, we got these guys in place. Now we need to start evaluating the roster, which Lance Newmark has a lot of experience in. He actually, let me try to find this again because I was reading up on him before. Where is it? Trying to find it. I can't see it. Okay. He also, when he was in Detroit, he assisted with weekly management of the Lions roster, and he was a huge. He played a huge part as an assistant to the executive vice president and general manager Brad Holmes. Um, Newmark definitely has a superb scouting vision. So I definitely think for us, it will benefit us tremendously having this guy in the building. And again, having that relationship with Ben Johnson is what has been the critical factor. I know Graf has talked about Spy Tech. There were other names that were thrown around as well. I do believe that Lance Newmark is our guy. We just have to wait, see what happens this week potentially. I think they can have Ben Johnson and, well, take that back with Newmark. Let me retract that. Newmark is still his team, the Commanders are still in the playoffs, so that is still virtual for the time being. That is a virtual interview. Ben Johnson, he could probably come in there Tuesday, Wednesday, in-person interview, and we take it as it goes. I'm here for it. I'm excited for it. And then we move on to evaluating the roster. Again, we have about 27 players that are set to be free agents. We have to look forward to the new league year. And I apologize because Friday I wanted to do a new show or a new live that I'm going to start doing on Fridays. So next Friday, anything permitting, I will be live Friday to do that for you. And we will talk about free agency. We will talk about guys that we potentially have on our radar, and we'll do it by individual positions as well. Who are we looking at for D coordinator? No names have floated around yet, but I will say consider you have to consider Robert Saleh. Yes, he's been in the building. He's been interviewed. He's been interviewed by other teams. But I think, again, that it's a bit of a feeler where these guys are being interviewed maybe to get a sense of what they can bring to the table. Maybe not necessarily as a head coach, but maybe as a coordinator. I can see Saleh being a defensive coordinator. If not with us, then probably another team. But I don't see him being a head coach right away. Newmark is the assistant GM in Washington, Big Papa. This is his first year with Washington. He spent 26 years with Detroit. Can't forget about Rob Leonard. Yes, you can't forget about Rob Leonard. And also, some news broke yesterday that Rob Ryan has actually taken a job as a linebackers coach at USC. Love that family. Love their energy. And that's both Rex and Rob. It sucks to see him leave, but definitely wish him all the best moving forward at USC. KC versus Buffalo, Washington versus Philly next week. That's where we're going. That's where we're going. Okay. Okay, I like that. Those of you who haven't already, do me a favor. Smash some thumbs, hammer that sub, crush a bell, and salute to the 185 we have in the chat right now. Appreciate each and every single one of y'all pulling on up on this glorious Sunday afternoon, Sunday morning for those on the West Coast. We're actually waiting for this winter storm to come through in another 2 hours. Out here, I think we're about to get like maybe 4 to 6 inches of snow. So Rorschach, this was again, and salute to you, my guy. This is a guy that I actually had gotten the name over some discussions last week. This was a name that was put out there, but it was not something that I was going to bring public. Adam Schefter reported it this morning, so I'm like, you know what, we got something to talk about. Let's do this. But again, why all of a sudden a dark horse? Why not? He has the relationship with Ben Johnson already. He was with Detroit again for about 26 years. So I like this. I think Dominique 5 was like, no, like Dominique 5 and Salute was like, nah, like Newmark was there even during the bad times. Okay, so you're there during the bad times, but you've also been there during the good times over the last few years, since they've really turned this organization around. So why not? Why not? Why not? Max is on NFL morning game day. He was interviewed like yesterday or the day before. I'm in Jersey, Billy. Don't need to add another big money receiver and deal with the headache again. Just draft one. You know what's funny, Westwood? I'm gonna see if I can find this article that I was reading yesterday, but PFN has come out with a full 7-round, 32-team mock draft. And some of the picks that I saw in the early stages, I didn't finish reading the entire thing, I was very, very intrigued with some of the names that I saw. So I'm gonna see if I can find that article and we're gonna talk about it. Caps, what? What caps? Demokes, here we go. AOC, MVP income. Oh God, here we go. Salute to Van City in the chat, my neighbor from the north. My brother, haven't had a chance yet to congratulate on 10K. I remember when you first started the channel, Van City. I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody with the comments. Between the community chat, between X, between Instagram, and those that were on the Shield More Live the other day. I really appreciate each and every single one of y'all. And I said it in the post, and I'm going to say it again to you guys that are in here right now. You did this. Each and every single one of you guys did this. The growth of the channel doesn't happen without each and every single one of y'all. I know there have been a lot of people that have been here pretty much since the early stages, and we just finished our 4th season, and look at where we're at. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and get emotional. I'm not gonna cry. Like, I just thank you guys, each and every single one of y'all, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you guys for your continued support. It's been a long road, and I know life gets difficult at times, but look, we're here now. We're at 10K, and we can only continue to grow from here. So I appreciate each and every single one of y'all from the bottom of my heart. Thank you guys so much. Golden from UT, yo, I love that kid. And somebody asked about him actually the other day. I fucking love that kid. He's explosive, great hands. If you saw the game against Ohio State, one of the very first drives, this one-handed grab that he made, like, this kid is a really, really solid talent. I would not mind having him. I would not mind having him with us moving forward. I can't lie, losing Rob Ryan hurts my feelings. It hurts mine too. It hurts mine too. RNJ, appreciate you. Buccaneers roster has been solid in terms of drafting players. I'm rooting for Spy Tech. Look, cold coffee, it could be either or. It could be Spy Tech. I don't know what his relationship with Ben Johnson is. Agnew has not yet, and that's been another name that was mentioned to me. And I spoke about this the other night. Um, I'd spoken to Chris Carlin and Bart Scott on ESPN Radio in New York. And this was about a week ago, and they mentioned that name, and I was like, you know what? The people I've spoken to, Agnew has not been a name that's been thrown in the hat yet. So we shall see. He might. I know they were there together. We have to wait and see though. We have to wait and see. Raider Mike, I appreciate you. L11, thank you. Matthew Golden in the second or third. Hook 'em hammer. There you go. Been rocking since the beginning. That's a fact. That's a fact. I appreciate you. Pause on. Appreciate you. Thank you guys. And we did get a couple new ones. I think another new 3 new subs to the channel. So I appreciate the new ones in here. Raise your hand if this is your first time in here. I appreciate y'all. Harold, I appreciate you. Thank you. All right. Do you have any background info? Yeah. So Van City, I'm gonna guess you came in late, but come on. I always take care of you guys. So give me 1 second. I'm gonna bring this back up, and you guys can see the detail, the little quick bio on Lance Newmark. Let me get this back up. Oh, there it is. All right. So like I said before, he is, as of right now, he is the Commander's assistant GM. He has 28 years of NFL experience. He's been in the league. This is actually year 29. He started as a staff assistant to the San Diego Chargers, and then 26 years with the Detroit Lions. He served as a senior director of player personnel. Again, great scouting mind. He assisted in roster moves on a weekly basis. I think his resume is very, very solid as well. So I'm good. Yo, Hug D's, you're a jackass. I appreciate you though, bro. But yeah, that's his experience right now, and I feel good in that name finally being out there. Again, this just came out this morning from Adam Schefter, but this is also a name that I've had in my pocket for over a week. So we will see what happens this week. Again, Detroit is out. Ben Johnson can now walk into the building and do face-to-face interviews with Mark Davis and Tom Brady. We will see how this goes. We could only think positive right now. I know people will get ahead of themselves, but let's stay positive about this and see what happens. Wow, really? Long time listener, first time call. Martin, I appreciate you, man. Anthony, welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. No, you're not. You're can't with y'all. Breaking news: Ben Johnson was spotted taking a flight along with Brady to Las Vegas last night. Walt, I know you're being funny about it. Come on, dude. Get Richard Seymour in the building to help scouts for defensive coordinators. Also, I haven't heard much from Seawood. What's he been up to? 808? I am not too sure. I haven't had a chance to speak with him either, so I couldn't tell you. I could not tell you. Bushido Brown, one of my favorite characters from the Boondocks. That shit is just, and the pick, the default pick, that's fire, bro. Let's see if I'm. How do you feel about the O line, young upside? How do I feel about our O line? I feel that our O line needs the most help on the interior. I do not want to see James starting at center next season, and we need to upgrade our guards. Again, next Monday I will do the free agent. Next Friday rather. Next Friday I will do the free agency show, and I'm going to do it by positions. Monday, for those that are unaware, when we started this last Monday, I'm going to be doing mock Mondays where we'll do a few mock drafts. We'll tinker around with some things. And again, I am going to try to find this mock draft if I can from PFN. I just want to go off the names that I saw, and I would love to see your guys' thoughts and opinions in the chat for that as well. I'm very, very intrigued to hear your guys' reactions to some of them. Hammering Raider Hank, hello from El Salvador, keeping my ears open about Ben Johnson, salute. I don't feel comfortable saying the two letters together. It just feels weird. Nowhere to go but up. Go Ben. There you go. Breaking news, Raiders have hired Walt for their GM position. They plan on pairing him with Ben Johnson. Yuck. It sucks, and we need a solid coach. And hopefully this is the solid coach that we have here in place for years to come, and we can finally end the revolving door that has been the head coach and the GM position for the last couple of years. Rorschach, I'm praying that this stuff, well, let me step back on that. I'm hoping with Ben Johnson that it can be done this week. If Lance Newmark is the guy, probably gonna have to wait until after Washington is either eliminated or wins a Super Bowl. So we shall see. Ron, what do you? Ron, I'm so confused. Or maybe you're talking in the chat. I'm so confused. Come on, Martin. Why? The whispers about Hendon Hooker, I'm not too sure about. But the one thing I will say in terms of this whole situation as it stands right now, with Ben Johnson, I look at it in terms of the quarterback that he has been working with these last few years. And that quarterback is Jared Goff. Now, Jared Goff, I feel that he coming to Detroit, Ben Johnson is the person that really elevated his game. If he believes Hendon Hooker can be a piece right now, and I'm not necessarily saying a starter, maybe he comes here and competes with Aiden O'Connell. But like the report with Ben Johnson's allegedly was supposed to be going to Washington and wanted Sam Howell at the quarterback position as a QB1 to develop Jaden Daniels. There had to have been something there, but at the same time, Cliff Kingsbury is the OC there, and you see what he has done for this rookie's rookie season. Realistically, Champ Kelly is still in the building right now. There's been no other word on him as of right now. And I also think the champ is probably in there listening in on things as well. If we bring in Hooker, we have two backups. We still need a starter. And you know what's funny? I feel like Hooker was like the third string because Goff went down with an injury for a short period of time during last night's game, and Teddy Bridgewater came in. They ran this trick play, did a reverse, and that fucking reverse was insane. I don't know how I feel about Bridgewater as a bridge. I really do not know how I feel. I feel like he was only out there for that one drive, and it was the reverse play for the touchdown, and that was it. So I don't think I don't see Bridgewater being a guy for us. I really don't. Mondo, salute. Ben Johnson just got destroyed by offensive coordinator we were supposed to get. And now, as I think about it more and more, I think about in terms of how the Raiders were not willing to give Kingsbury the third year. Oh, you see why. That staff was gone. Majority of the staff was gone after a year. So he kind of saved himself as well with that one. And the thing is, with Cliff Kingsbury, he's not interviewing for any head coaching positions. He is really locked in with Washington right now. So that was on Aaron Glenn. His defense was ass. They also have lost a lot of players due to injury, including Amik Robertson, who broke his arm last night. And the one thing that I saw, like, I've actually kind of waited to see, and nobody's actually done it in here during this live today. But I was waiting for somebody, especially after that game last night, to be like, "Oh, um, like Jared Goff is ass." Like, one of the interceptions that were thrown was not his fault in any way, shape, or form. The corner played it very, very well, played this post route, and got in front of the receiver. And I was like, holy shit, like he really played that incredibly well. He got right under, made the pick. I was like, damn, that's solid. You can't blame the quarterback for that one. The only thing Ben has me questioning was a trick play in the fourth while trailing. Are you talking about the one that was thrown for the interception? That was I definitely question that as well. Glenn's defense got cooked by Cliff Kingsbury. Yup, that Lions team has been depleted for a while. The fact they were still number one seed is nothing short of greatness. That's a fact, Jordan. That's an absolute fact. Where is it? You definitely just nailed that one. I think Mike McCarthy will go to the Bears. He looks like a Bears coach. I think there's a good chance that that's going to happen. And what's crazy is the Cowboys actually blocked Chicago from interviewing him. Never picked up the phone to talk negotiations with McCarthy about extending him in Dallas, and then fired him. So McCarthy can now obviously go wherever the hell he wants. But I said it last week. The way that Jerry Jones and the rest of the Dallas Cowboys handled that situation was just completely unprofessional. That shit was really dirty. Goff is fine. Just pulled a Herbert. Nah, Herbert is a little bit more. I said this last week after that loss. You threw more interceptions than you did the entire season in that one game. Herbert, you are not a top 10 quarterback. I don't care. Our previous quarterback has more wins in the playoffs than you do. Not an insult, just a fact of life. Yeah. The first INT was Gall's fault for sure. Brady said he tried to get greedy, throwing high over the middle with an open target short. Yeah. Being a former receiver has paid off huge for Mikey, who was a beast at Michigan and is becoming a star nickel at corner. Salute to Triple OG, aka Hug D's, on the $5.
Holla, city of squalor.
Gotta love that Kermit the Frog got 2 roughing calls without ever getting smashed, but Goff got blasted on the chin, and meh, it's cool. Refs are ass. Bro. And it was so funny because I was thinking about what we were going to talk about this morning. And that was another thing. Like, look, Houston hung in there, but there were a lot of questionable calls in favor of the Chiefs. Are we surprised? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That one that they called on Tutu? Bullshit. The quarterback can't sit there and play games if he's going to run, if he's going to slide, hesitate to slide. That's fucked up. You don't do that. And I'm telling you now, the league, they better come to some type of conclusion with this and really rectify the way that those flags are going to be called, those penalties are going to be called or not be called, because that's absolute bullshit. He got away with a couple. There was one where he got pushed, he was still in bounds, and tries to flop as he's out of bounds. You're soft, bro. You are soft. Uh-oh. We got David Zahn on the $5.
Holla, city of squalor.
Hugs did it, so I had to. Nation Raiders. I think I'm getting yelled at by my brother right now. Oh, Okay. We do have some breaking news right now, and salute to my guy, Joe. Ben Johnson is scheduling the in-person interviews and will have a decision by the end of the week. You heard it first here. You heard it in the house that Hammer built, y'all. So hopefully by the end of the week, we will know if Ben Johnson is in fact the new head coach of our Las Vegas Raiders. There you guys go. Joe, I appreciate you, brother. So now you guys can be incredibly hype, and salute to, how many do we have? Am I reading that wrong? Is it 355 that we have in here right now? If you guys haven't already, I don't know what the fuck y'all are doing. Smash some thumbs, hammer that sub, crush the bell. And salute to Joe. If he's around, I would love to have him call right now. Well, he's in the chat, so obviously he's watching. I don't know why I almost had a moment there. And again, we're waiting for this snowstorm to come in another hour and a half. Like I said, I'm going to try to do an hour with you guys. I do have to run out and get some things, especially if I'm going to watch any of these games this afternoon. But yeah, you guys just heard it. Ben Johnson is scheduling the in-person interviews and will have a decision by the end of the week. Great news to hear, as long as he's coming to us. No Diddy if necessary. Troy Aikman was calling Mahomes and the refs out. Yes, he absolutely was. And I was like listening to him. I'm like, dude, like, I'm glad that you're seeing it the same way. We know that they've gotten a lot more, what's the way of putting it? Pretty much have babied the quarterbacks a lot more than they ever have before. And of course, they're protecting their asset. That is the ass that is Patrick Mahomes. They got to stop this shit, though. You're going to if you're going to make these calls, call it down the line and call the shit the right fucking way. Don't play favorites to some quarterbacks and not all the quarterbacks in the league. Fuck that. Ben was on the plan with Tom after the game. There was a picture on Facebook. Troitman CTE was going crazy calling out the league on the pro. Westwood, was he wrong, though? Was he wrong? When he said what he said in terms of they need to really fix this shit this offseason, I was like, I wholeheartedly agree with you. Yo, I feel like, you know what? We got to do this real quick. Hold on, guys. Sorry for the dead air. Yo, Rorschach, I need you to send another message in the chat. No, Matt, what's good, man? Mahomes uses this to his advantage big time. Again, for those that did watch the game, you saw how incredibly close it was. Houston had 3 different opportunities to get points, and they fucked up, including tying the game in the second half. They couldn't capitalize and shot themselves in the foot, ultimately. I'm waiting for Rorschach to send another message. I just want to see real quick. Nothing yet. Okay. I love how TB12 is just getting Al Davis hate right now. That's how you know the Raiders are starting to get it back together and the rest of the NFL is scared. Talk that shit, bro. They did. They absolutely did. But then did you see the type of hits that Stroud took? Like, his offensive line was non-existent. And I know that they lost, if I remember correctly, it was their left tackle earlier in the season to a shoulder injury. And that dude was a huge proponent to that offensive line. And they just didn't have it last night. He was sacked 8 times. Oh, shit. Hold on, guys. I need to know that you guys can hear this, so too. Raider Nation News Today. What's your name? Where the fuck you calling from? Hold on, bro. I'm going to see if I got this right. There we go. Yo, Nation, do me a favor. Give me a thumbs up so I can know that you can hear the caller first and foremost. Talk, bro.
Man, you want me to call, so I called.
Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. I'm supposed to have a meeting in 5 minutes, but it can wait, just with a high school kid. So it's not like it's important.
It's like it's a kid. I don't care.
Well, no, it's not that. It's not. It's just it's one of those last minute things. You wake up and it's like, can you get on the call? Or just lame. So I mean, it's part of the job. So whatever. So let's talk, man. Let's run it. Let fire away, homeboy.
So you just said what you said, and everybody's getting incredibly hype right now, hearing that a decision should be made by the end of this week. So, what are you thinking in terms of the news this morning about Lance Newmark? He's set to be interviewed. Obviously, Detroit's out of the playoffs, so we can talk to Ben Johnson as much as we want now. Like, what are you seeing happening or transpiring over the next couple of days?
All right. So I'm gonna. Well, I'm not in media anymore, so I can go ahead and just say what I want to say. I guess. And nobody can. Nobody can get pissed about it.
I told you, ain't nobody watch me, so you could pretty much get away with anything you want on this platform right now.
Nah, man. Like I told you privately, and I told another homeboy who we're in a private little group chat. The It's Ben Johnson's job if he wants it. The ball is essentially in his court. So if the Raiders do not hire Ben Johnson, it's because Ben Johnson made the decision to go somewhere else for whatever reason that Ben Johnson has. I've been told by a lot of people that he's become enamored with the situation because of um, just some of the pieces that are in place. Especially, you do have Max Crosby, who I have some info. Well, I mean, I can't talk about that, but I'll just say with Max, I hope the Raiders are very respectful with an offer that they give him. Otherwise, I think it could lead to some not so good news. Um, but with some of the pieces in place, with Brock Bowers, with Jacoby Myers, with Glaze, and with even Colton Miller at the tackle spot. You have two guys there, JPJ, Wilkerson. There's some pieces in place, and he feels he's not that far off. So he's become a little more like intrigued and enamored with it. Now, Newmark is a guy. I mean, if you go back to it was a week or plus in the text, I said this is the guy he wants. Straight up, like this is his homeboy. This is anywhere he went. This is the guy that he would want to bring with him. That's been pretty. I think it was common knowledge in NFL circles. Spytech is the other guy. I think that's more of a Brady guy, because there's a relationship there from when Michigan days, and also when as they played together there, and also in Tampa Bay where he was when Brady was there. He was instrumental in Brady going to the Buccaneers. So I think the guys that the Raiders are interviewing for the GM positions are guys that are in line with who Ben Johnson would potentially like to work with. And I think they're very intentional with the people that they're interviewing. So I 100% it leads me to think that Ben Johnson, I don't want to put like a percent, I would say it's a 70%, 65% chance that he'll end up being the Raiders coach. I don't want to say anything higher because you never know. I mean, Chicago could very easily come in and offer him just a boatload of money. And if they did that, I mean, who are we to say anything for somebody offering somebody more money and them not take it? So I think Cohen ends up in Jacksonville eventually. I think the Bears end up with Flores. I think Aaron Glenn will end up with the Jets, to believe it or not. And I think Ben Johnson ends up with the Raiders when all the dust settles.
Who do you think ends up with the Saints? Because that's one team you didn't mention just now, and they're looking for a head coach as well. Do you think McCarthy could be their option?
Look, man, I may be the one person that that doesn't have a bad thing to say about Mike McCarthy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, honest to God, like he has almost an identical record as Mike Tomlin, except he's won more playoff games.
Right.
So people do not talk about that when it comes to McCarthy. I think Chicago. I mean, as much as I just said Florida, Chicago, I think the person that makes the most sense for Chicago is Mike McCarthy because of his work with quarterbacks. I mean, hell, look at what Dak's done under his tutelage. Aaron Rodgers, he was instrumental in turning Aaron Rodgers' career around and getting him to where he's at. So people don't give Mike McCarthy enough credit for the job that he does with quarterbacks. If I'm the Bears, I'd be the guy that'd be on my list. If I can't get Ben Johnson, I would go get McCarthy just because he 100% could help turn Caleb Williams around because Caleb did not have the type of season anybody thought that he would have.
So Sir Lister of Smeg is asking you, and I know I talked about this a little bit earlier, but is Newmark a good talent evaluator? Is what he's asking.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be more collaborative with the people that they're going to have around. That's something that Newmark is. I mean, he was with Detroit for a number of years, and everybody knows that Detroit was a shit show, and he made it through all of that, and still maintained a job. So they're obviously is a guy there that's respected. Going to Washington this year, you see again, he was instrumental with some of the people that were brought in there on the field and off the field.
Right.
So yeah, he is a good talent evaluator. But a GM's job isn't it's to evaluate talent, but their job is to overall be the final decision maker. So it's not like he's sitting there watching tons of film all day. That's the whole scouting department. So I mean, again, for instance, I can use it in my new role. I'm not sitting and watching film on kids that in college players that we want to sign to the agency per se, as much as I would if I was in the scouting or our recruiting department. Those guys are going to be the ones that give me my reports, and I'm gonna go look at them, and then my job is to get them on the phone and do my due diligence with everything else.
Yeah.
So, that would be the way I would kind of look at it is he's going to be a guy that probably, I don't want to say changes the scouting department, but I think adds to it and brings some people in that will 100% contribute to what success they're having, and they've had or they're looking to have.
Gotcha. Joe, appreciate you, brother. I'm gonna hit you up at some point this afternoon because I do got to run out before the snowstorm hits. But definitely appreciate you calling in. Definitely appreciate you bringing your insight to the rest of the Raider Nation, and we'll definitely be talking later on, bro.
Absolutely, man. My pleasure. And just want to point something out to everybody out there, especially in the Toronto and San Diego area. Roki Sasaki is a Dodger, and so is Tanner Scott.
You're nice.
Haters.
I'll talk to you later, bro.
All right, brother.
Later. Salute to our guy, Joe Arrigo, with some good insight. Salute to the resident meathead in the building, Mr. L.A. Rob.
Yeah.
So, yes, I do, and I'm envisioning that. I do think Najee could most definitely be an option in free agency. Now, I did find the article that I was telling you guys about, and I want to talk about this with you guys. It might be a little slow, and I apologize, but the way that they put this article out, it isn't one of those ones where you can go next page, whatever. PFN did do a mock draft. They did a full 7-round mock draft, all 32 teams. We're going to talk about it real quickly, and we're going to talk specifically about ours. How did I begin? Bro, your loyalty and how you can hold down the chat, that's how you got promoted. So congratulations to you. All right. Love watching Hammer see my comments and just try. Yo, because you're an ass, bro. I'm not trying to get friggin' canceled. What's wrong with you? Thoughts on DC for Ben Johnson? The one thought I have right now is Robert Saleh. I do. Shout out to Daryl Folk. Shout out to DJ Big D. No Diddy. Appreciate you guys on becoming new subscribers. We have gone up about 12, 13 new subs since this live, and salute to the 357 that are in here. So let's move on. Let's talk about this real quickly. I'm going to go through the first 6 in the first round. As you guys know, we have the 6th overall pick in the 2025 NFL draft. So this is how it started out in this mock draft, and this, again, is courtesy of PFN. The first overall pick, Tennessee took Shador Sanders. Number 2, Cleveland took edge rusher out of Penn State, Abdul Carter. The Giants took Travis Hunter. New England took defensive tackle Mason Graham. Jacksonville took cornerback Will Johnson. And let me find it. Don't move. I'm gonna read the scouting report that they have on him as well. Um, Here we go. With the sixth pick of the 2025 NFL Draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select Cameron Ward, quarterback, Miami, Florida. Entirely new leadership set to take place in Vegas. Front office should have enough of a runway to bring along Ward at a reasonable pace. Under no circumstance should Ward play in 2025. Listen to this, guys. In fact, he should probably be the team's emergency quarterback unless injuries take over for the Raiders. Ward's closest comp is Zach Wilson. His bad habits will only be magnified in live action against NFL defenses. However, if the organization places training wheels on him, he has the athletic potential to compete in a division with Justin Herbert and Patrick Mahomes. So that is the insight, and that's the little small scouting report on Cam Ward if we in fact end up with Cam Ward. So let's move on and go to the second round. Let me get this back up. So in the second round, we have, again, they didn't do this how they should have, and it is what it is. Okay. Pick is in. With the 39th pick of the 2025 NFL Draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select Princely Umanmielen, edge rusher out of Ole Miss. This is a guy that, here's the report that they put out there. We've been patiently waiting for him to explode for the better part of 3 years, and he finally flipped the switch late in his collegiate career. Umanmielen always had the bend and explosive to be a problem, but his pass rush plan always lacked. However, the well-proportioned pass rusher seemed to finally get into his groove late in college, and pairing him with Crosby could lead to beautiful results in Vegas if he develops further. So that would be our second round pick. Let's move on to the third. We have 2 picks in the third. I got to scroll. And this is the one that was a bit of a head scratcher to me at the time when I read this last night. So as it stands right now, we have back-to-back picks, the 70th and 71st overall picks, right? So I'm going to go one by one. With the 70th pick of the 2025 NFL Draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select Jaden Higgins, wide receiver out of Ohio State. Their little piece on this said, look at the Raiders depth chart. So we go real quick to the very next pick. With the 71st pick of the 2025 NFL Draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select Tez Johnson, wide receiver out of Oregon. So here we go in terms of double dipping a receiver in back-to-back picks. Higgins brings the thunder and Johnson brings the flash to what should eventually be a high-flying passing attack with Cam Ward under center in the future. Higgins is big but fluid, and Johnson is as quick as anybody in the draft class. Although his frame makes his jump to the league a bit difficult, considering we haven't seen too many receivers with his frame find consistent success in recent times. So they double dipped in the third round. Let me get back to the chat. I want to see what you guys are saying in here. Man, this is a joke. The hate is real. Mock drafts are dumb. It's like reading someone's NCAA March Madness brackets. This has to be a joke. Good 4 picks so far. Haters in full effect. Wait, did Graf do this? No, this is PFN. PFN did this, and they did a full 7 round. Let me actually, I have not seen the rest after that because I was just scratching my head after that. Let me see what other picks that they had for us. And again, because of the way that they have this set up, it's really, really obnoxious. You actually have to scroll the entire time. Round 4. Round 4, we go running back, and we take Ollie Gordon II, the running back out of Oklahoma State. Let's try to get to 5 as quickly as we possibly can. This is really obnoxious. Round 5, we take, this mock draft that they did is ass. They double dipped back-to-back rounds. They took another running back. They took Phil Maffa, the running back out of Clemson, with the 144th overall pick. Let me see what else we got here. This is Yeah, I don't like this at all. And we will do our mock Mondays tomorrow. And I think we will be back live for Monday Night Raw as well. In the 6th round, they took Billy Bowman, the safety out of Oklahoma. I'm trying to get through the rest of this. This is ugly. This is really fucking ugly. 7th round, they went linebacker, Power Eccles out of North Carolina. And I think we have another. No. Do we have another one? I don't see another one after that. Yeah, that was disgusting. That is disgusting. He said, oh my God, I'm off. I mean, I get drafted. So receiver, running back, and back-to-back rounds, I'm done. Yeah, see, this is why I honestly like doing my own mocks. He said, tell them their mocks is drafted. Yo, you know what? I might actually have to comment on that post. That was disgusting. My son can do better than that. I ain't heard of none of these picks. So realistically, for a lot of these names that were in there, they're pretty much these.
Who the fuck is that guy?
And this is what the Raiders, not the Raiders, but this is what media does day in, day out. They just have nothing else better to do than to troll and talk shit and make up these asinine fucking things. These guys sound like they know nothing about the Raiders or hate us, yeah. What's the name of the idiot who did this mock draft? Oh, I'll tell you that in 2 seconds. Let me go back up to the top of this article. The most longest dragged out article ever. I feel like he probably had like a 3-year-old do this shit. Where's the name? Yo, seriously? Yo, dude doesn't even have his name on here. Doesn't even have his name attached to this. And rightfully so, because if I was your boss right now, you would be out the door. But yeah, there's salute to Rorschach on the $10.
Holla, city of squalor.
Here's a little something for you. Thank you for acknowledging me and my takes. I appreciate your takes and information on our team. Keep up the excellent work. Salute, bro. I really appreciate you. The support means a lot, and I tell you guys this all the time. Thank you, guys. Hammer, I'm 3. Hater. I'm officially back. Finally done running around like a chicken with no head. It wasn't. If that was Schefter, then dude needs to just leave ESPN entirely. That's insane. This guy sucks and his draft is no good. And again, we're already touching on close to an hour, so I'm not. We will do one. We'll do a few tomorrow. Salute to Hug D's on the $5.
Holla, city of squalor.
Y'all see Gruden wearing a Chief hat on Barstool Sports, hyping up Kermit's flop skills. Gruden is dead to me. He should be to y'all as well. Damn. I didn't see that, and I'm glad I didn't see that. I really don't care for seeing anything Gruden does anymore. I don't think Ward will fall to 6. Matt, a lot of things, and it's still early. It's still very early. The combine isn't for another month. In the combine, and you still have the senior game as well, but the combine is like ultimately where you start seeing a lot of these players' draft stocks go up. So guys can go up, guys can go down. Like it's going to be very, very interesting to see how it plays out. And again, like with a platform like PFF, like look, those numbers will change, and we saw this last year, like right after the combine, how some of these players, after their evaluations at the combine, the numbers changed dramatically. So stay tuned. Again, just because the off season's here does not mean that we're not going to be here giving you content. I'm gonna do my best to be on when I can. Again, even if it's pre-recorded videos, I'm gonna do my best to give you guys as much content as I still possibly can. And I appreciate each and every single one of y'all. 309 in the chat. If you haven't already, do me a favor. Smash some thumbs, hammer that sub, crush a bell. We went up like 17 new subscribers since we started this live today. And I appreciate each and every single one of y'all that pulled on up. But I think it's about that time that I close up shop. Again, appreciate each and every single one of y'all. I'm looking forward to these 2 games this afternoon. I think Buffalo might end up getting the very best of the Ravens this time around. The Ravens blew the doors off them earlier this season. Eagles and Rams, probably the Eagles. But on your way out, if you haven't already, do me a favor, smash some thumbs, hammer that sub, crush a bell to stay up to date with all your Raiders news, rumors, updates, live streams, and reactions in the house that Hammer built by the nation, for the nation. Raider Nation news today. Continue to stay safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. COVID or not, you should always remember to wash your hands and your asses. And as always, win, lose, or tie, Raider Nation till I die. Till next time, y'all. And of course, as always, on my New York peace, love, and positivity. Shout out to Can't Get Right on gifting 5 Raider Nation News Today memberships. Salute to Troy Gill, Jerome Clemens, Greg Lira, James Bowles, DL Tibbs. Welcome to the family. And of course, you know how we always end this.
And when I leave, come together like butt cheeks.
We'll see you guys tomorrow for Mock Mondays. Until then, we outro, y'all.